Hello everyone, CD Racing here, and welcome back for episode 2 of our Colin McRae Career Mode playthrough here in Dirt Rally 2. Now, if you missed the first episode, what are you doing? Go back and watch it. But quick recap anyways, here in the early years of his career, 1984 in Scotland in the Mini Cooper, and 1988 also in Scotland in the Ford Sierra Cosworth RS500, completed those tasks on hard mode, and 1988 in Wales, Big Fat Red X. Thought the front-wheel drive would be our advantage, but apparently I was wrong, and our next couple objectives for this episode, 1989 in Sweden, back in the Ford Sierra Cosworth, and New Zealand, also in 1989, in the same car. We're going to try and tackle all of these today, see how well it goes for us, but first things first, we got to handle our losses, got to learn from them. Let's head back to Wales. Colin McRae retired from this event due to a damaged engine mount. He was not alone in his misfortune, but with 1988 Rally claiming many retirements due to car failures. Now, we're going to hop back in this little hot hatch, see if we can get this done first couple of tries and not waste too much time, but let's see how it goes. So, loading in, Point Mar, 2.92 miles, very short stage here, and as we learned last time, it is raining, and these cars understeer quite a bit, so we're going to try and fight that. We know what stage we're going with this time. Hopefully we can get this first try. Let's see what happens, and you're going to watch in the background here, watch the revs. It's going to be the little gauge on the right that's moving right now. The red line for this car is actually closer to about 7 grand, but you'll see throughout the course of this run, I tend to shift the car closer to 6 because as the revs get higher, the potential for wheel spin grows quite a bit, and especially in these muddy, understeery conditions, I want to utilize as much low-end torque as possible, which is a little hard to come by in these underpowered front-wheel drive cars, but utilize what you've got. You see early goings here, not pushing the revs, kind of pushing with the calls as they come in, throwing the car into the corners, but keeping the revs relatively low. Don't want to let too much wheel spin take place as I get a little close on the inside and the outside there. Letting the calls come in here. We've got a 2 right tightens don't cut, so we're going to slam on the brakes. We know we've got a 3 left long coming after this, so we're going to angle ourselves accordingly. Again, you see, as soon as I let the revs get up, I was fighting with the wheel there for a couple seconds. So we're early goings, almost done with the first sector here, and we are keeping a very consistent pace. 5 left long, tightens 3. So we're going to kind of inch our way towards the right-hand side just a little bit. Know it tightens midway through the corner, and then shoot it over the gap just like that over the course of that intersection. Again, understeer fighting with the car going to be a huge problem this entire run. 4 left long, keep right over 30. Let's see if we listen to that instruction, because if we don't, it's going to set us up for a bad day. But we do keep right, avoid that wall on the inside, going pretty well at the moment. Again, avoiding the wall, understeer, going to be a huge problem this entire run. You see me fighting the car the entire time. For those of you that don't know, I record all the content for this channel on a Thrustmaster T300 series wheel, and especially in these slippery, rainy conditions and in a front-wheel drive car, the lack of mechanical grip is very apparent. You see a lot of movement in the wheel. That's not me exaggerating, trying to make it look like it's harder than it is. You have to throw maximum angle on your entry into these corners, or the car is just going to understeer off the track. And I'll try and point that out if it comes to a point. Next time we have a lower speed corner, it'll probably become apparent. But at the moment, relatively high speed going right now. We've got a 4 left into a 4 right over jump. So keep decent speed. There's the jump right there. Just prepare ourselves for the right angle. And we've got a 6 left over 170. So we're about to gain a lot of speed on this particular section of the track. Now we're going to watch for this 4 right slow. Caught that too fast the first time. We lost a lot of speed. So we're going to make sure that we remember that one. We've got a couple consecutive 4s into a 3 don't cut. We're going to find out why in a second, why we were not supposed to cut, and I would appear it's because of those logs right there on the inside. Moving through the mid-speed section of this course, we've got a turn square left right here. Slow the car down to avoid understeer, just like that. When we didn't even slow down enough, had a little bit of understeer there, but that's what I'm talking about. In these conditions, the car has to slow down or it's going to understeer. Right here, when I get the car slowed down, it goes where the wheel is pointed, like it's supposed to. Now, going towards the end of the stage here, we do have a little bit of a slower speed section, and that's off-camber call that came in. Massive understeer. Have to fight that the entire way into a square right here. Don't slow the car down enough, and you see me having to rip the handbrake just to get the car turned in. Massive understeer this entire stage, but it looks like we've kept decent momentum. You see on the left-hand side of the timing boards, we are neck and neck with the AI. Now, we only need to finish 5th overall, but obviously we want to go for the overall win or as close to it as we can. 5 left into 2 right long tightens, slam the brakes, throw it in, grab some handbrakes to get some extra angle, and just like that, it looks like we were able to save it and keep it on the stage, but not the fastest way to go through that. It may look the flashiest, but it's not the best. Finish over 60 into stop. It looks like we're coming to the end here. Do we make it? only 1.3 seconds after the stage leader, but is that enough for us to complete the challenge? Because that is what we are really here for. Moment of truth coming up here in a couple seconds. So, stage time, 3.29.664, 0.02 of a second from a very bad number, but that is 5th overall on the stage, only a couple seconds behind the leader, and 5th overall, which will net us barely completing the challenge. First try. What a way to start the series, huh? All right, so first challenge, first try, off to a good run in this episode, but for our next challenge, after completing that one, we have unlocked the Rising Star portion of the career mode, but we want to finish everything. So next challenge, 1989 in Sweden. Finish this final stage in the top 15 without suffering light mechanical damage to your car. One of Colin's first international rallies took place in Sweden, with the snow-covered roads testing the skills and tenacity of all the drivers. Colin managed a top 15 result, which was impressive considering the harsh conditions. Which is true. Rear-wheel drive turbo rally car in the snow. Also, older turbo cars, the turbo lag is absolutely atrocious. Getting used to it is quite a mission, but Värmland, Sweden, 3.26 miles of rugged snow terrain here in the Ford Sierra Cosworth. Let's see how it goes.
That's 6 right 50, 3 left tightens.
All right, so before we start the stage, I want you all to take a note. When you're in a rear-wheel drive rally car, especially in low grip conditions like the snow, you're basically at an angle the entire time. Watch that as I'm driving here. You'll see there's very, very little traction here from the beginning. Got a 6 right into 50 into 3 left tightens, so we're going to come in here hard on the brakes, try to turn it early to get that angle, but then you see me recorrect, and that ends up sending me into the snowbanks on the outside. You're going to see me struggle to keep the car out of the snowbanks in the beginning here. You see that one, just all into the snow on the left-hand side there. But right there, when you get your initial turn-in angle and you can just kind of keep that angle throughout the corner and power out, that's when you really get speed in these rear-wheel drive cars. Right there, had the initial turn-in angle, but they didn't save it quick enough, so you see me fighting on the outside. It's a struggle the entire time. However, I do believe rear-wheel drive does end up being faster than front-wheel drive once you get the hang of it. The risk is by far greater, as you see me heavily fighting with the car right now into the snowbanks once again. But when you finally get the hang of it, like we'll get a little bit towards the middle of the stage, that's when things become quick. It's just a solid, fluid motion. Fight the car, find your angle, hold it, and then power out, even in very tricky, snowy conditions, just like that. You saw me hold my angle and power out when we were done. Just like that is how it's done. And we've got a 3 left into 3 right, and you see right here, slow it down, find your angle, power out, slow it down, find your angle, and power out just like that. And it's going to be that pretty much the entire time here, guys. Now, this is our first try, so hopefully we can actually complete the challenge, because we don't just need to finish the stage today. We are trying to honor Mr. Colin McRae, and we're going to hopefully achieve that. But 6 left over crest into 30. There's that crest. Here's 30. Keep middle over crest, jump. Now, there's that jump, and you want to watch the car coming into these lower speed sections here. As you see, I didn't slow down enough and get myself a nice angle, and I had to go very slow through that corner. Same thing right here. I didn't get the initial turn and angle, and was kind of just creeping around the rest of the corner because I didn't have the advantage of already being at an angle to where I could power out and correct the car. So, you know, about a fourth of the way done with the stage here, still struggling a little bit. We're keeping decent pace compared to the class leader, as you can see, but we can go much faster than this. That much we know. So, tight 4 right, about 6 seconds ahead of the lead at the moment. Keep left over 40, 30 into 4 right over 30. And look at the angle that we're carrying into these corners now. This is what you're looking for. You're looking for that initial turn in, and then just use your angle throughout the entire corner. And once you get the hang of this, it becomes very fun. I know I said in the first episode that I didn't have much experience driving rear-wheel drive rally cars because wholeheartedly, I was scared of them. They are scary, and the risk is most definitely there. But when you start to get the hang of them, they are an absolute blast to drive, and they might be my favorite to drive now. I'm not going to lie, especially this Cosworth. Once you get used to this awful late 80s turbo lag, this car is an absolute blast to send around a stage, and you see it right now, just sending it around these corners. 4 right over dip long. Watch your initial turn and angle, because if you go a little too early, you're going to find the snowbanks just like that. But luckily, the snowbanks here are forgiving. Unless you really get into them, they're not going to damage or slow down your car too poorly. About 8 seconds over the competition at the moment, and I have been yapping for pretty much this entire stage as it plays in the background, but as you can see, we are flying here for our first attempt. A lot of confidence going into the snow. And I've learned, when in doubt, just floor it in these rear-wheel drive cars. The absolute worst you can do is oversteer even more, and then you just let off and let the car fix itself. And that's exactly what's happening here. I'm getting used to it, getting my angles right, and catch up with the calls for the end here. Caution 30, 2 right long tightens, which is why that caution call came in, because this next turn right here is going to be a lot tighter than it looks. We're going to slow the car down just enough, creep around that corner, and then we know we've made it. Power out early, 6 left into tightens too long. So this very deceiving tightens just like that. We didn't listen to the call as well as we could have, hitting that wall on the outside. But over finish, it looks like this is another first round victory. Let's see, as we smack the snowbank right at the end of the stage. 11-second victory over second place on the stage. So I believe we have completed the challenge on back-to-back first tries. We're on a roll today. 343.407 is our final time. Is that enough to complete the challenge? Let's find out right now. Okay, so first place in the stage, obviously 343.407 is a little bit over a second faster than the actual winner of the stage. And that puts us in first place for the stage with 0 mechanical damage, and that is back-to-back first tries on the hard difficulty. That's what we're looking for right there. All right, so a successful challenge in the books. Just one more for the early years of Colin's illustrious career. Where's it going to take us? 1989 in New Zealand. Starting on the penultimate stage with a 2-minute deficit, finish within 1 minute of overall first place, meaning we have to make up an extra minute of time just to complete this challenge. Facing some of his toughest competition yet, Colin fought valiantly to keep in touch with the rally leaders by expertly navigating the beautiful but tricky coastlines of New Zealand. And beautiful but tricky? Correct. Not to spoil too much about what's going to happen, but we have 2 very long stages ahead of us, and we have to complete both of them in a row while still making up a whole minute of time. Absolute ludicrous. Can we do it? Let's figure it out.
Starts 1 right very long, opens 30, 1 left tightens. Good luck.
All right, so we have yet to visit New Zealand in our career. So for those of you that only watch Dirt Rally 2 from this channel, welcome to New Zealand. Very dense jungle, very slippery dirt all around us, and you're going to see that on full display throughout these very, very long stages. So early goings here, very tight beginning of the stage. We have a hairpin into a 1 left tightens, which means this is going to be a very tight turn. And as you can see, tight turn indeed, having to kick the rear end out twice there just to make sure we have our angle right. Going into some consecutive threes, we have a 3 left, don't cut. So we're going to go ahead and go right here and hit the wall, and wow. Yeah. Y'all thought we were going to get this first try? No, we're going to be in this for a while. Second attempt here. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Launch the car hard. Maybe we can get further than 35 fucking feet this time, but we're going to see what happens. Going out wide here. Again, kicking the car out very wide in the beginning stages here. We have a 1 left tightens coming up right here. Slow down hard on the brakes. You actually, for those of you that are really listening, hear me locking the tires in some of these lower speed situations. When you're very hard on the brakes, especially in these older rally cars, the tires lock up way too easily. This is the corner we spun out on last time, took a lot of care there, and now this is all new stage ahead of us, a 1 right in front of us. Try to keep our drift angle ahead of us, not too bad, considering we hit the inside there. Pretty good angle we kept through there. I'm sure the replay is going to look great on that one. We've got a 3 right into 2 left. Again, just keep our angle the entire time. It's not as slippery as a snow, but we definitely still have very little grip ahead of us. As you see right there, we don't have that initial turn and angle. It's understeer city the entire way, which is kind of why you want to send it in early. Just basically constantly Scandinavian flicking the car, enter at the wrong angle, and then flick it right before the corner, or just send it in with a little bit of handbrake like I did right there. On that 2 left, don't cut, which is why I took it kind of wide for those of you that saw the don't cut call. Just watch your inside line. Don't hit anything, because the driver or the co-driver knows what you don't. He's seen the stage, you have not. So listen to him. Open hairpin right ahead of us here. We're going to slow the car down into second gear. First gear in this car, once you're moving, is pretty useless. I'm not going to lie. You're going to be redlining at about 10 miles an hour, and no one has time for that. So now powering up just a little bit here. The stage is going to open up for us. You see we're in 4th gear right now. Pedal to the metal into 4 right into 3 left. So slow the car down back into 3rd gear. Flick it through these little chicanes right here. And we're just going to continue going all along the coast. And for those of you that haven't noticed, we are along the coast pretty much this entire rally. We've got an ocean to our right for most of the stage here. We've got a 3 right tightens ahead of us, and don't cut, and that's why you see a massive drop off on the stage there. Just hold the car over that angle right there into 2 left tightens, don't cut. Once again, A lot of don't cut calls on this stage. We have a coastline to our right and a huge mountain formation that's kind of just staying with us the entire time on our left. Shooting that gate right there, we have another don't cut call for this 3 left tightens. A lot of tightens calls here as well. A lot of these corners do not maintain their same angle throughout the entirety of the corner. As we're going here, having trouble keeping the car consistently at an angle. Obviously, you're not really in control at all the entire time you're in a rear-wheel drive car, but you want to maintain your angles to be as little as possible, because when you go into like crazy full lock drifting angles, it looks fantastic, but it's still really slow. Now, going early here, I know we've got a long stage ahead of us, only 2.5 minutes in, but look at the gap forming already. We do have quite the gap to the car behind us as we struggle to slow down a little bit for that 2 left that was right there. Just continue going along the stage here, find your momentum, and early goings here, my mentality was, we do have to make up a minute, so our pace has to be strong. But we've got in total what I believe to be about 16 miles between these 2 stages, so we don't have to completely haul. But are you really a racing driver if you're not trying every time? So I thought to myself, find decent pace, but don't push the car, no unnecessary mistakes, and we might be on track for 3 back-to-back first tries on hard difficulty. But as you hear the way that I'm talking, it did not work out that way. And we're going to make a couple mistakes here, but I'm not going to restart for the sake of these are long stages. So I thought, if I spin out a couple times, I'm already up 30 seconds, and this is just the first stage. I got this. So going here, tightens 1 left, slow the car down hard, find your initial turn and angle, and then just pause right there. And then gas as soon as you know you've made it, just like usual in these rear-wheel drive cars, drifting basically the entire time. My arms were tired at the end of these 2 stages, I'll tell you all that much. You really are fighting the cars a lot, matching that with having to make sure that you're shifting your gears correctly, not trying to miss a gear. It gets hard, it really does. We've got a 2 right opens for one, so we've got a turn that's going to open up for us, and you'll see it right there. I power out early because I know it's going to open up for us, and just like that, we can send it in this little quick high-speed section and immediately back into a 1 left tightens. Slow the car down, find your angle early, and then power out when you made it, just like that. As you see, we are starting to get used to the rhythm and flow of these rear-wheel drive cars. About 4.5 minutes into this very long stage, and we're going to see the gap to the car behind us here in a couple seconds as the stage is so far relatively low speed. I think we've only had a couple of, calls above a 5. Right here, 4 left, very long. It's probably the widest turn we've had in a while, as we now have a 41-second gap to second place, meaning that we have almost done our challenge on just the first stage, and right on cue, an error has found itself. Drifting too wide right there. We got our wheels in what I will refer to as the dirt. And when you get on the dirt, there is even less grip than usual. It's going to spin the car out every time. And just like that, we're back on the stage. Not a huge mistake, barely even made contact with a little divot on the edge of the stage there. So not a huge setback, obviously not ideal, but we still obviously have a huge gap to the car behind us, and we're just going to keep trucking along. We've got a 6 right, keep left into 1 right long, so keep towards the left-hand side of the stage so that you can flick it into the 1 right. You really do have to listen to every single call that comes in from your co-driver, as again, touching the dirt on the outside, we're going to get a little squirrely, lose it in that 1 right there, but we powered out of it, and now we've got some speed in this stage. And immediately slow it down just like that. We've got a 3 into a 4, caution, 3 left, don't cut, because there is a gate that is going to be unseen to us until about right here. Power through it when we know we've made it into a 3 left tightens, into 5 right narrow. And very narrow it is indeed. The fence and the cliff not allowing us much room for error. We're going to navigate our way through here, drift around that corner, and power out. We know we've made it like clockwork at this point. And you see, because of our mistake earlier, our gap has fallen to quote-unquote only 36 seconds. Now, obviously, we need to win by a minute, so we still have to continue this pace as we keep another huge angle drift coming out of a low-speed section right there. We're getting maybe a little too overconfident on our gas as we power out of these corners, but keeping it going so far. 4 right, we're going to see what happens into 4 left. Very anticlimactic, but again, look at the stages here. We're going to take a break real quick because this is kind of just a neutral point of the stage. I got to plug Dirt Rally 2's creative designers for this game as a distraction for me hitting this absolutely nasty donut. Totally planned, obviously, but back to our regularly scheduled rant. The map design for these stages in Dirt Rally, in my opinion, as far as originality goes, are second to none. All of these stages feel extremely real and authentic, but they were all created from nothing. None of these are real stages in real life. They just mimic the area that they were created in and built these awesome stages. I truly think every single stage in this game has its own little niche or specific part of the stage that just makes it so incredibly entertaining to drive. And I gotta love it. I mean, look at this right here with the massive coast on our right, just looking at the ocean as you fly down this cliff road, then send it to the left and you're looking back at nothing but a cliff. It just creates this atmosphere and this sense of danger that you really need to pay attention to what you're doing. And that's Rally. I mean, that's Rally. If you lose focus for a second, as you've already seen twice this stage, you can spin out, you can mess up. And now luckily we didn't lose anything major, no major contact, just a couple spin outs, and we obviously have a huge gap, but we got to stay locked in. Coming towards the end of this first long stage, we have a longer one ahead of us. But right now, it looks like we're holding it together pretty well. 5 right opens long over crest. Look for it right here. There's that crest. We know it's going to open, so we're just going to floor it, stay just like that. Into 4 left, 1 tightens. So again, as soon as we get some momentum, we have to slow the car down hard. We know this turn's going to tighten up a lot. So we're going to give ourselves a lot of angle coming in, and then we see that we've made it, so we're going to floor out of it, power out of it, into a 2 right tightens. Then I didn't listen to the tightens call. I had my initial 2, and then didn't adjust for the tighten, so that's why I had to adjust hard on the steering wheel there. And again, all of these calls are extremely important. Every single part of the call means everything. You see right here, that call right there, he said tightens bad, and if we didn't slow down enough, we would have ate that tree on the outside. Everything matters. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record on this, but for those of y'all that maybe don't watch Rally too much, or maybe y'all that are just getting into it, your co-driver is everything. If you are going to make that mental decision between just looking at the road ahead of you and focusing on that, or solely focusing on the co-driver calls and just driving blind, do the latter. Your co-driver is there to help you. He's going to let you know everything you need to know right here. Don't cut, open hairpin right. So I'm mentally going to stick to the middle of the stage here. Why should I not cut? Because there's a massive cliff right there, and just like that, found it okay. Maybe didn't commit to the inside too much. As you see, I got a little squirrely on the outside there, but we are nearing the end of this stage, and I would love to see the gap that we kept, because despite our 2 mistakes, our pace for the rest of the stage was not bad. Definitely nowhere near what some of those world record holders are going, but you know, we're just going to try and complete the challenge as we cross the finish line with a 49-second gap. Next stage, we only need to win by a little over 11 seconds, and we will have completed the challenge first try. Are we going to do it? Maybe not. We'll find out. So as we go ahead and look over the total event times for this particular stage, first in this stage by a significant margin, ahead of K Strom with that little helmet icon next to his head. No idea what that means at all. Wish I could tell y'all, but as you see, we are now 5th in event time. So loading into the second stage that we do have to do in a row for this challenge, you see a 49-second lead at the end of the first stage, and we only need a minute. You would have to screw up pretty bad over the course of the next 10 miles to throw this challenge, right? Let's go ahead and ride on board for the next 10 miles and figure out just exactly how this happened. Loading in right now, you see the stage set in front of us. Let's just go ahead and get into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Launch the car hard. Initial thoughts on this stage, try to keep the momentum from the last one. Obviously we did pretty well, but this is a different stage, different vibe. We have moved a little bit more inward on the land. As you can see, the coast isn't really close to us at the moment. And starting now, tight turns ahead of us. We had a 2 left into a 2 right into a 3 left. So early goings, definitely tight here. Kind of similar to last stage. Remember last stage, we didn't have many turns over a 4 at all. And early goings here, it's looking like it's going to be the same, holding a lot of angle in this last 2 corners. Again, drifting isn't the fastest way around the stage, but it does look the coolest. So 6 left into 2 left. So even when we have an open turn ahead of us, we got to slow the car down to prepare for it, just like that. But early goings in the stage here, decent pace. There is not much of a gap between us and the CPU. And like I said, we need to make up 11 seconds on this stage in order for us to complete this challenge. So got to pick up the pace just a little bit, or maybe hope the CPU's pace falls off midway through this stage, whichever one comes first. But right now, we're going to do our thing. Turn 5 right, extra long, opens over crest, so we know this corner is going to open up for us. Power out of it early, and just send it through this next stage. And just like this, now we're getting into the high-speed stages of New Zealand. Look at the speed we're carrying on this stage right now. In a rear-wheel drive car, it gets very scary, as again, going into there, overcorrecting the wheel because I was scared of the oversteer, almost hit that wall on the inside, but we managed to keep it steady just so at the moment, as we got a 2 right tightens right here, go ahead and slow it in, throw that angle, and then power out, and you've made it just like that. And you can see, even though I will make many mistakes on this stage, At the points where I wasn't messing up, you can tell the confidence that I'm gaining in these rear-wheel drive cars. I'm entering with my angle, I'm powering out early. It's feeling great, but when you get too confident, sometimes you get a little close to fences just like that, or sometimes you get a little overzealous and keep more speed than you should, and bad things are going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, but I promise y'all, it will. Stay tuned. 4 right long opens 30. So again, another corner we know it's going to open up. We're just going to keep it forward the entire time. Getting on the edge of the stage here. And once again, once you touch that dirt on the outside, you lose. You thought you had no grip when you're on the stage. There's even less when you're out there. Lost the car right there, luckily avoiding any major collisions. We're just going to get trucking one more time, and we have 10 miles in total, so that little mess up, as long as we keep consistent pace, will not completely throw us from this challenge. Right here, we've got a 3 right into 30. Just watch your initial angle. Once again, we've got a mountain on our inside, so we need to watch our goings on the stage there. And as I'm starting to get used to the car and gaining more confidence, I felt that I had become accustomed to the turbo lag in this car. And for those of you that don't know sim racing or are unfamiliar with turbo lag, basically when a car has boost and it is turbocharged, especially these older cars, the pressure that builds in the turbo to force more air into the engine to give you more power, it took a couple seconds. Not an actual couple seconds, but maybe like 1 second, 1 Mississippi. But when you're going at the speeds of this and your reaction times need to be pinpoint, thousandths of a second make the biggest difference. When you floor the gas pedal and it takes a full second for the car to gain that increase in power, it can really throw you off. And as I started to get used to this car, as again, another mistake here, eating that fence on the outside, nets me a huge collision with the outside wall and then bounces me back into the fence on the other side. That is one of the first major mistakes on this particular run. I was mid-rant, man. Can't go 30 seconds without spinning out of this stage. But as I was saying, when that pressure takes a second to build up in the engine, it can throw you off when you're not used to it. But as I started getting used to this car, you can actually use it to your advantage. You can power out earlier than you'd think, because when you first just throw your foot down to the floor, the car isn't just going to have all of the beams all at once and just send itself into a wall. You can power out early. Like right here, I had already floored the gas about half a second before y'all saw the revs creep up on my dash right there. And when I got used to that, it made a big difference. Maybe too big of a difference, because some of the accidents that are going to happen for the rest of this video are because I stayed with my foot on the gas too long in the boost range, or I would hit the gas too early trying to compensate for that boost lag, and I would end up, you know, hitting power too early, spinning out, oversteering, all that jazz. It's going to be a big learning factor. So I figured I should speak on that, especially if y'all don't understand how turbo lag works and you see me spinning out and you're like, wow, CD Racing, you just suck. I promise you, I'm not that bad. This stage might change your mind on that because I am going to spin out a couple more times. But a big learning point there for anyone trying to get into sim racing or who just doesn't understand turbo lag. You need to learn how and when to gas the car so that you can have all of the power when you need all of the power. Because right now, as you see, we are in a very high-speed section. I haven't called out the calls in a while, but we have a couple consecutive 6s into a jump, into a 4 right. Very high-speed section. I am pedal to the metal this entire section, so it doesn't matter about the boost lag because I'm always on the gas. But right here, when I let off, slow down, we are not on the boost. I am now floored, and now the car makes power. So you see, when you learn to get used to that, you can really start nailing these corners. And I'm going to stop tooting my own horn for just a little bit, because we're going to lock back in here for just a second. 4 left, don't cut, into turn 1 right. So don't let the speed of this corner to fool you. We do need to slow the car down. You see me bouncing the revs a little bit, waiting for that lag, and then we're going to power out just like that. And there in second, the car was so underpowered that even when I floored it, it took so long for the power to come back because there were just no engine. There was just no engine speed, nowhere for that boost to go. And then right back into the high-speed sections. 3 left into 3 right long tightens. So slow it down for the 3 left, or at least try to. Getting a little bit on the outside of the stage there. Hug that wall on the inside. Try not to hit it into the 3 right tightens. We know it's going to tighten, so we're going to give ourselves extra angle on the entry and send it out just like that. 4 left into 60, so we've got this. Opens up into 60. 6 right into 5 left tightens. So again, back into a little bit of a high-speed section into the 3 right tightens. We're finding our rhythm. We're finding our grooves. And again, if you look on the left-hand side, I'm not 100% sure if they just didn't show me the CPU progress throughout the stage, or if we were neck and neck with them the entire time. But as I was racing this, I was kind of getting my head a little bit like, oh my god, am I winning? Am I losing? What is going on here? Because I was only getting updates as I crossed these checkpoints. You'll see it here in a couple seconds in the middle of the screen. Crossed the checkpoint right about here, and we're at a 629.765. So again, they're not telling me if I'm winning or not, and I know I've spun out twice, so in my mind I'm like, man, I gotta put my foot down. You see, I am absolutely hauling through this section right here at the top of 5th gear, literally as fast as this car can go. Slow it down hard for the one left, flick it to the right so that you can again flick it back to the left and just nail that one left just like that. Little Scandinavian flick for y'all there. I'll explain how those work in a later video, but 6 right into 3 left tightens, throw it down, find your angle, tighter than you'd think, and not as tight as it should have been. One more time, a spin out, don't back up too far. Got a little bit of an Austin Powers 3-point turn situation there. Hit the wall on the inside, and at this point I'm thinking, my word, that is a 3rd spin out. I know I've had decent pace when I'm not crashing, but there's no way I'm up 11 seconds with this current pace, and just to make matters even worse, once again, didn't listen to the don't cut, or I did listen to the don't cut call, but I maybe listened to it too well on that two left, and I just got on the outside of the stage, spun out again, and once again losing valuable time parked against the sideways on the stage. Right here, go right over this junction. You heard it in the calls. 4 right over crest into 38 now. Not much longer to go in the stage, but we have now spun out 4 times. And obviously, that is not good. But I figured I've been yapping for both of these very long stages, and I realized y'all haven't really gotten a second to listen to and digest the craziness that is rear-wheel drive rally. So for the rest of the stage, I do avoid making mistakes. I'm going to let y'all just listen to the raw audio and appreciate just how insane and how much is going on when this is just full effort rear-wheel drive rally. So enjoy the rest of the stage.
6 right, small cut, 30. 6 left long, into 6 right of a crest, extra long. Just slow crest, and 6 left long, tightens 1, tightens. 40. 1 right long. 50. 3 right long. Into 5 left long, tightens 2. Into 2 right long, opens 6 long, into 4 left, into slow 4 right, and 1 left long, tightens. 50. Flat crest, 50. Keep left of a crest, 30. Unseen, 1 right long. Into 5 left of a crest. Into 3 right long, 80. 1 left long. 30. Crest and 6 right, 50. 5 left long, into unseen, 1 right tightens. Opens long, 50. 1 left, tightens of a crest. 30. Turn unseen, 2 right. Opens 100. Crest and 3 right long. Into 3 left long, tightens 1 long, tightens small cut. Into 1 right, 30, 4 left long, opens of a crest, 40. 5 left and 3 right of a crest, over finish.
Alright, so you know how I said no more mistakes for the rest of that stage? That was a lie. Yeah, guys, honestly, as you can see now, even at the end of the stage, this was just not the one for us. So many mistakes were made. Obviously my fault. There's nobody else on the track with us. But did we win? TBD. I know that we had quite the advantage going into this one, but we had to make up 11 seconds, not lose almost a minute. As you can see, 1 minute and 32 seconds behind the leader, which means we failed the challenge. Absolutely devastating.
But we did go 2 for 3 in today's video, 2 of them being first try, so not a total loss. Only 1 challenge in order to wrap up the early stages of Colin's career, and we have unlocked the Rising Star portion, 1991 through 1994, and we get a little sneak peek into what we can expect in this next section.
In 1991, Colin took control of the Subaru Legacy RS, a car that would showcase what he was capable of on the world stage. During this time, he began to demonstrate not only his raw speed and ability, but his will to win at any cost. In 1994, Subaru ran the all-new Impreza, and despite a shaky start to the season, Colin was able to show the relentless determination that would go on to define his career and lay the foundations for big things to come.
All right, so very exciting to look forward to for the next couple episodes of this series, but we're not even going to tackle this until we make sure that we have 100% wrapped up the last stage. As you see, a little sneak peek of what we are going to be doing and many more challenges to tackle over the span of these 4 years. I'm excited. I'm really excited to keep this going, but for now, that is going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate you guys coming in and watching these episodes, and I will most definitely be continuing to push out this series because I love this game mode. But for now, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to heal through that like and subscribe combo, and as always, I will catch y'all in the next one.